Nowhere Bound is a YouTube channel known for its solo overnight stays in the heart of nature and its calm, soothing narrations. Its content doesn't aim to scare, but rather invites the audience into silence and contemplation. However, in one of its recent videos, this atmosphere subtly shifts. The video begins in its usual tone, arriving at a secluded place, carefully unpacking camping gear, and Juniper, his loyal dog, freely roaming among the leaves. The campsite has only 4 spots, and by sunset, everyone else has left. This solitude gradually turns tranquility into a quiet sense of unease. He shows the area behind the camp and notes that, judging by the debris caught in the trees, this seems to be a flood-prone zone. Nearby, there's an abandoned building that's been unused for years, yet its presence feels heavy. It's just a few steps away from where the vehicle is parked, looming like a dark mass between the trees. Its proximity creates an uneasy feeling right from the start, one that intensifies as darkness falls.
This is a pretty sweet spot.
His attempt to start a fire fails. The wood is too wet, and the conditions aren't right. He's left in near-complete darkness, accompanied only by occasional forest sounds and the indistinct rustling of bushes. Though the sounds initially seem natural, their pattern doesn't quite match the usual rhythm of wildlife. This irregularity, combined with Juniper's restless behavior, gives the night a more mysterious tone. Eventually, he decides to retreat early into the tent, draws the curtains, and tries to calm his mind with the ambient sounds. Despite his soft tone, a trace of worry is detectable in his voice. It's the kind of silence that feels like it should be broken by a sound that never comes, a silence that animates shadows.
Juniper is officially settled in, and we're going to hunker down now and try to get some sleep. I don't know. This is definitely a new thing for me. I've never had creepy, weird feelings at a camp before, and I'm sure it's just my mind playing tricks on me. But it definitely looks like the kind of building that could have a poltergeist in it, and it's like 30 feet that way. So I've got the blinds closed, out of sight, out of mind. I'm probably going to watch a movie and just try to not think about where I am and have some noise going, because it is, when I say quiet, it is very, very quiet here.
The night passes without any major incident, yet it remains unsettling. There are no clear signs of intrusion, but the silence itself continues to weigh heavily, like something unseen pressing in. Morning comes with the sunrise, coffee, and a walk. He thoroughly checks the area and finds that, although the place is remote, the camp is clean and in order, but the spot where other people had camped the night before is now empty and seemingly abandoned. Later, he heads toward the river and reaches an open, peaceful area covered by an unusual silence. The surroundings seem even more deserted than usual. Then, unexpectedly, Juniper runs into the woods. A small camera attached to her collar detaches during the chase. Despite the rough terrain, he eventually retrieves it. Though nothing explicitly frightening is captured, the entire experience is steeped in a sense of unease. What isn't seen matters more than what is. There's a lingering feeling that something unseen was present, that perhaps the abandoned building wasn't truly uninhabited, or the sounds weren't made by animals after all. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel to help us reach 1,000 subscribers and to not miss more content like this. Now, let's jump into the next video. Johnny from the channel Johnny Paranormal is best known for his videos exploring deep forests. However, in one of the channel's most viewed videos, he ventures into Japan's infamous Aokigahara Forest, a place widely known as the Suicide Forest due to its tragic history. His main goal was to capture the forest's heavy and mysterious atmosphere, but what began as mere curiosity soon turned into a disturbing effort to prevent a tragic event. At the start of the video, Johnny clearly states that he's not there to chase ghosts or perform paranormal rituals. He enters the forest with an open mind and full awareness of its grim reputation, a place where many have walked in seeking to disappear. But only a short time after entering the deeper parts of the forest, he encounters something strange. A solitary man among the trees, carrying no navigation tools or proper gear, just a jacket and a small backpack. When Johnny calls out to him, the man doesn't respond by heading out of the forest. Instead, he quickly disappears deeper into the woods.
Where are you going? Where's he still running? He's up in there.
Johnny cautiously follows at a distance. He knows the man may be in a mentally fragile state, and any sudden moves might scare him further. From higher ground and at a safe distance, Johnny tries to gently communicate, speaking softly, but the man keeps fleeing. At one point, Johnny loses sight of him entirely. All he hears is the distant sound of breaking branches, movement in the distance. Unsure whether the man is hiding or still moving, Johnny decides to stop pursuing and wait in place. He kindly offers a cigarette, some snacks, even a drink, anything to create a sense of safety and companionship. But the silence is his only answer. While still searching, Johnny is suddenly confronted with a heartbreaking sight. A body hanging from a tree branch. It's real, and it's shocking. A stark reminder that the forest has claimed yet another victim. As the sun begins to set, Johnny faces a difficult choice: continue searching for the man or leave the forest and inform the police. Knowing how dangerous the forest becomes after dark, he chooses to return the next day, report the incident, and provide authorities with the approximate location of the body. Preside, an adventurous content creator with a passion for solo experiences in nature, ventured into the forest to spend a peaceful night alone under the stars. It was his first time going completely solo on a camping trip. He started his day by selecting a remote spot among the trees, far from any urban noise or distractions. The surroundings were calm, and the weather was just right. As the sun began to set, he decided to prepare a simple meal: baked beans, which he ate outside the tent before the mosquitoes became too much to handle. Afterward, he went inside the tent, put in his dental retainers, and got his phone ready to watch a few YouTube videos before falling asleep. Within minutes, his camp was fully set up. It was around 8:30 p.m. Although the sky was getting dark, there was still a bit of light left. Feeling hungry, he considered moving to a more open and well-lit spot to eat, but the mosquitoes drove him back into the tent. While eating dinner, he also recorded a time-lapse video.
Because it's not too far from home. But anyways, let's open my baked beans. This scares me. Every time I use a can opener, it goes wrong. So here we go. Alright, I think that's a good thing. I think I just twist it like this. Please don't go wrong. Alright, I think I got it. Yes. Look at that, guys. Alright, I'm gonna go back inside because there's mosquitoes actually, but I'll run the time lapse of me eating this.
Everything remained peaceful until around 2 a.m., when the silence was broken by the sound of footsteps near the tent. The noise was loud enough to wake him up. Grabbing his phone flashlight and lantern, he stepped outside to inspect the area. Near the spot where the noise had come from, he noticed a strange mark on one of the trees. Finding nothing else unusual, he returned to the tent to sleep. But not long after, the footsteps returned. This time even closer, circling around the tent. These movements no longer resembled those of an animal. They felt intentional, almost human. That's when he decided it was time to leave.
Hello?
He grabbed his valuables, turned off the camera, and quickly fled the area. In his rush, he left behind the tent and other gear, only returning the next morning in daylight to collect them. Upon reviewing the recorded footage, he spotted suspicious footprints near his campsite. While they weren't entirely clear, they strongly suggested that someone, or something, had been nearby. Although Prasad was used to the typical hardships of camping alone, cold, insects, and strange noises, this experience shook him to his core and left a lasting emotional impact. Crazy Quaddy is a YouTuber from the state of Nebraska with a deep love for nature. His channel is essentially a tribute to the art of truck camping, featuring relaxing videos filled with stunning natural landscapes, perfect for those seeking a deeper connection with the outdoors. But in this video, he decides to take a different path. As shown in the footage, the sun is setting, with maybe just about an hour of daylight left. Nearby are several abandoned structures slowly collapsing over time. He heads toward an old windmill tower to explore. After briefly examining the outside of the building, he decides to go in and check out the interior. He walks toward the cupboard under the stairs and makes sure no one is hiding there. On top of the cupboard, fragments of old Christmas decorations can be seen. The building is clearly in disrepair, and it's obvious that no one has lived there for many years. He then goes downstairs and, surrounded by the heavy silence of the house, begins preparing his sleeping area for the night. But once night falls, things start to change. From that moment on, strange things begin to happen. Maybe someone just passed by outside, or maybe it was the sound of an old structure collapsing. Still, there's also a chance the house isn't completely abandoned, and that something might actually be hiding inside.
There's something up there. There's definitely something up there. Get!
Moments later, he encounters a mouse, but he doubts such a small creature could have made the unsettling noise he heard. Anyone with experience camping overnight in nature knows that strange sounds are simply part of the experience. But what about you? What do you think really happened? Brendan Explores is a YouTube channel focused on wild camping, van life, and adventurous experiences. In this video, published on March 17, 2025, Brendan sets off on a 4-day road trip across the UK in his van. His goal is to travel through untouched nature, find cozy spots to camp overnight, and fully embrace the freedom of the road lifestyle. However, what was supposed to be just another ordinary night of camping quickly turns into a strange and unsettling experience. After hours of driving, Brendan finally finds a good spot to stop for the night. A forested area near a dam, far from the main roads and completely isolated. The peaceful green surroundings with dense trees limiting visibility seem like the perfect place for a hidden camp.
We're not quite there, but it's good enough for tonight. And it means that, at least with my head at that end of the bed, my head won't be swollen like a plum tomato when I wake up, so yeah. Let's settle in for the evening. I have no idea what the area around us looks. All I saw was on the map, we are right next to a reservoir, so I'm hoping for some good views in the morning. That would be nice.
By the time he arrives, night has fallen, and he can barely make out the area around him. Still, seeing no sign of other people or vehicles, he assumes he'll be alone. Brendan parks the van in a suitable spot, sets it up, and begins preparing his camp. As the temperature drops, he turns on his diesel heater to stay warm. Then he cooks a simple meal, a double cheeseburger with barbecue sauce, and relaxes in the quiet of the forest. The only sounds are the rustling of leaves and the hoots of owls. For a while, it seems like a calm, uneventful night lies ahead.
Little camping tip for you, if you're going away in your van. Oh, the smell. That is incredible. Let's give this a bite.
But suddenly the headlights of a car appear in the distance. At first, Brendan thinks it's just another traveler looking for a place to stop for the night, but something feels off. The car doesn't move. It just stays there, its headlights shining directly at his van. Minutes pass, but the vehicle remains motionless. There's no good reason for anyone to be in such a remote place at this hour unless they're camping too. But this is just an ordinary car, not a van. Moments later, another car pulls into the area. Brendan looks more closely and notices someone approaching with a headlamp. He stays silent, but then hears another movement from behind the van. Someone else is there too. He quickly locks all the doors. As Brendan tries to figure out what's happening, another vehicle arrives. And then another. Within minutes, a group of people has gathered around his van. The once deserted area is now filled with strangers standing silently in the dark with unclear intentions. The people don't speak or knock on his windows. They just stand there motionless. Some stare directly at him, while others seem to be scanning the trees around. An eerie feeling hangs in the air, as if something is about to happen, but Brendan can't tell what. At that moment, yet another car arrives. Brendan's instincts tell him that this place isn't safe, and he needs to leave. He quietly grabs his keys, starts the engine, and switches on the headlights. The light reveals the silent faces of the men still watching him. Brendan quickly drives away, keeping an eye on them in his rearview mirror. He expects one of the cars to follow him, but during the first few minutes, no one gives chase. Still, the fear lingers.
Oh. Look at them all, look. Look at them all. What's this here?
After driving a long way, he finds a new spot, a deserted parking lot near a playground. This time, there are no other cars around and no one lurking in the shadows. He breathes a sigh of relief, locks the van's doors, and settles down. Lying there, he replays the events of the night in his mind. Even though he tries to reason it all out, something about the behavior of those people, the way they just stood there in silence, feels deeply unsettling.